Hi friends, welcome back to Ouroboros Tarot. So today we are doing a pick a card reading on how they think you see them. And it was just as confusing as the last time I did it, but I did my best. So I have 4 piles for you to choose from today. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Go ahead and pause this video if you need to. Take as much time as you need to find the pile that sits right with your energy, as well as with your person's energy, and I will see you in a minute. Hi pile 1. So today we are looking into how your person thinks that you see them. I haven't done this reading in months. The last time I did it, it was very confusing for me, just trying to get the semantics and everything right, but I'm ready to try again, so here we are. So let's go ahead and get on into it. And please keep in mind that this is just how they think you see them. This isn't a reading on how you actually see them. So if this isn't resonating, it might be that they're really out of touch with things, or it might not be your pile. And I think you'll know. Okay, so to start, we have the Starborn, the Hero Heroine, Building Blocks, and B. Okay, so first and foremost, I would say that your person is under the impression that you are seeing them for both their potential as well as who they are actually showing up as right now. They seem to feel like you have a pretty good understanding of who they are, where they're at, where they're headed. With Hero Heroine here, I feel as though they think that you see them in the shadow attribute of it, which is escapism and a false sense of heroism. It might be them feeling insecure about their own escapist type of qualities, traits, or habits that they have. However, with the Starborn here and with Building Blocks, it seems like they think that you see something special in them that perhaps has not been born yet. Like you understand that they are a work in progress. And at times, perhaps with the B here, they feel as though they are a little bit imperfect because they can become a little harsh, or they have a sting to them, which they think you're viewing within them. But at the end of the day, there's nothing here indicating that they think you think they're a terrible person. It's honestly like they think you have a really balanced perspective of them in terms of who they are, what your expectations are, and what potential they have. But let's go ahead and let's keep going. Let's see what else is coming through. I'm really excited. I got some new decks. Some people sent me some tips that were the same amount as a deck. So I treated the channel to some new cards, which I'm really excited about. And this is one of them, and so is this card here, Building Blocks. But let's go ahead and get into it. How do they think that you see them? Okay, I'm just going to take this first one. We have the 5 of Wands, the 3 of Cups, the 6 of Wands, the Page of Wands. Okay, so let's start off with these. It seems like they think you are under the impression that at times they can be a little bit perhaps stubborn or confrontational. Someone who is willing to argue rather than wave their white flag and try to come up with a solution to things. With the Three of Cups here, this is giving me the same energy as the shadow attribute of the hero-heroine, with escapism. Like they think they're under the impression that you know that they know how to have fun, they're a good time, but at the same time it can get a little excessive. The Six of Wands again is further confirming this feeling that they think you view them as stubborn, or yeah, that's the word I would use, is stubborn. And the Page of Wands, I think I'm kind of curious to know what kind of connection this is, because for a lot of you it feels like this isn't like a committed type of connection. Like perhaps this is a friendship, or it's a friends with benefits, or a casual fling kind of thing. Because it also seems with the Page of Wands and the Three of Cups like you are under the impression that they have a wandering eye. But let's keep going. How does Pile One's person think they see them? Okay. We have the Seven of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups. Okay, the Four of Swords. This is so interesting. And I guess I'll take both of these. The Hanged Man and the Queen of Cups. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Two of Cups. Okay. This is really interesting because everything that I just said with the first four cards is now, it's the same message of like this person being a work in progress, you acknowledging that they have good days, bad days, or they have, like there's things about them where there's potential, and you kind of know where you stand with that. And here it is again. Like everything that I was saying was kind of harsh a minute ago in terms of what they think you see in them. But then right underneath it, clarifying everything, is that it's changing. You think that it's changing. With the Five of Wands and then the Seven of Pentacles, this to me is saying that for one, they're working on this stubbornness. But for two, a lot of this stubbornness has to do with what it is that they feel most passionately about, or what it is that they feel most strongly about. With the Eight of Cups here underneath the Three of Cups, this is telling me that you're under the impression that they are kind of considering or slowly walking away from more of like a player kind of lifestyle. Or yeah, that's what it feels like. Like you're under the impression that they're walking away from wanting to date multiple people at once, or only have a good time. It seems like you're viewing them as somebody who might potentially be going deeper within themselves and exploring themselves and their truth more. With the Six of Wands coming out above the Four of Wands, or the Four of Swords, this is telling me that you also feel as though there's a period of rest. Like perhaps this person has been stubborn and confrontational, or ready to put up a fight rather than find a peaceful solution in the past. But now it's like there's a quiet, peaceful period, and perhaps they are actually trying to allow peace within this connection. And then we have the Page of Wands, the Hanged Man, and the Queen of Cups. So with the Page of Wands and the Three of Cups, one of the things I was mentioning was a wandering eye. But then now being clarified is the Hanged Man and the Queen of Cups. It seems like you're under the impression that perhaps that's past energy, and this person is like more open to their heart space now, is more open to being sensitive, being intuitive, being gentle with their emotions, with themselves, with others. And then underneath at the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Cups. They think that you are seeing them as somebody that you could see a partnership with of some kind. They think you see them as somebody that you care for deeply. Let's keep going. Whoops. How do they think you see them? The sheep who wandered and found a different shepherd. Let's get one more. And protect your heart. Yes. They think you see them as somebody who is trying their hardest, is like genuinely actually trying to make an effort to make some changes, but it's difficult for them. The sheep who wandered and found a different shepherd is about somebody who is looking for something greater than themselves, for one, but for two, is looking for a different path in life. And that's how they think you see them, is as somebody who's trying to learn, who's trying to be better, who's trying to open up a little bit more than perhaps they have in the past. Let's go ahead and get you an affirmation. What affirmation is there for pile 1? What do they need to hear? I am committed to bringing forth my greatness. I will no longer play small. All right, pile 1. Well, that's what I'm seeing for you today. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can do so in my Etsy shop. Thank you so much, pile 1, for watching, and I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hi, pile 2. So today's pick a card reading is looking into how your person thinks that you see them. I've already pulled your oracle cards here. I have some new oracle cards and some new tarot, so thank you to those who sent in some tips through PayPal, because now I have more decks and I'm really excited about it. But anyway, we already have the oracle cards, and what we have for how they think you see them so far is number 31, Y, the shapeshifter, angel, and chickadee. Okay, so they think that you see them as someone who is a problem solver, who's willing to help out or put themselves to work in order to make your life easier. However, there's an element here of mistrust. So either this person thinks that you see through them in the sense of they've been caught, like you've caught on to them, perhaps trying to manipulate you through pretending to be something that they're not, or they think that you don't trust them and it's unfounded. They think that you see them as someone who's perhaps willing to lend a hand or be a shoulder to cry on, but at the same time you're seeing them as someone who you're unsure of. It's like you don't know what their motives are entirely, or you don't believe that they could be being kind to you without the expectation of anything in return, or you're seeing their kindness as a form of like pressure to move this connection along. There's just an element here of like everything looking like it's all super helpful, but at the same time there's just something that's kind of off, and it's leaving you in their eyes to ask the question why. But let's keep going. Let's see what else comes through. How do they think that pile 2 sees them? Okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune, the Eight of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. I'm going to get one more, and the Tower. Okay, so the thing that what I picked up on with the first 3 cards, with the Wheel of Fortune, the Eight of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles, is that this person feels like you see them as somebody who... See, this is when it gets confusing, because what intuitively I feel is that some of what is happening right now, some of what I'm about to say is this person projecting. And I'm picking up on their projections of how they feel about themselves in terms of their insecurities. And what the insecurity is that I'm seeing is that they feel as though they are having to try really, really hard to prove to you for some reason. And this could totally be just their own insecurities talking, or their own beliefs that they've created about themselves talking, telling them that they have to work really, really hard to convince you or to show you or to prove to you that they are mature and they are successful and they have, a good head on their shoulders, and any successes that they've had in life came out of pure hard work rather than luck. I think essentially what I'm getting from what I just picked up on is that they think that you see them as somebody who perhaps is immature, and who hides behind successes, rather than actual maturity. Okay. We have the Page of Wands. Okay, I'm going to put these back because we have everything we need now. Got a lot of reversals. We have the Page of Wands, the Ten of Wands reversed, the King of Swords reversed, and the Moon. And then on the back of the deck, we have Judgment. Yeah, this person thinks that you see them as somebody who is not as grown or mature or wise, I would say. Like, this person feels very judged by you. And it could be with Judgment here that they're under the impression that you are really weighing the pros and the cons of a connection with them, having a connection with them. But yeah, it seems to me like and it could very well be true that you do see them as somebody who's immature, somebody who's younger, somebody who doesn't have the life experience needed in order to perhaps relate to you, or in order to dive deeper a little bit. That could be true, but it could also be just their own insecurities that are like really coming into play here. Because now with the Wheel of Fortune and then the Page of Wands, it gives me the feeling that they feel like you're seeing them as somebody who is faking it till they make it. And with the Eight of Pentacles and then the Ten of Wands reversed, I feel like they're also under the impression that you are seeing them as somebody who might be hiding behind their successes in order to their successes or certain behaviors, certain aspects of themselves they're hiding behind in order to kind of impress you, and they don't think that it's working. They think that you kind of like see through it. Like, everything here is telling me that they think you have found them out. And I don't necessarily think that it has to do with being deceptive in the sense of like this person is trying to manipulate you in like a really dark or scary or unsettling kind of way. It's more so like this person feels found out in the sense of you've seen aspects of themselves that make them feel small. like they've been trying to portray themselves as this King of Pentacles, somebody who's stable and mature, but really they're this King of Swords reversed, somebody who doesn't have the foresight or doesn't have the maturity needed in order to lead a connection entirely. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, because from everything I'm seeing here, it seems like this person, it weighs heavy on them, like they want to gain experience and learn, and they're willing to learn. They seem like they're willing to be a student. But at the same time, this is just what's coming through. And you see it here too with the Tower and then the Moon reversed. It's like illusions have been completely destroyed. Things, aspects of themselves, the Moon is all about shadows and illusions, and it's reversed. It's like you've seen aspects of themselves that they don't even like looking at. And it might not even be like the ugliest parts of themselves. It's just the parts of themselves that they don't really like all that much, because it makes them feel silly, or it makes them feel, maybe it does make them feel like a bad person. Whatever those shadow sides are to you, or to them, that's what it is. But let's keep going. Let's get a couple of these before we get some affirmations, okay? Everything you need too soon. So what I'm getting with this is that they think that you see them as somebody who perhaps came in as this knight in shining armor, who came swooping in and tried to really rush this, and it didn't work out in their favor. And if anything, it may have caused you to pull back a little bit. And if it's not that, I feel like they're viewing this as you're seeing them as somebody who is really, really wonderful, but it's just not the right time for you. Broken and hatched. There is an element here of them realizing that when it comes to relationships, when it comes to connections, we all hold up mirrors to one another, and that's okay. And parts of themselves that they haven't really liked about themselves in the past have come to light again because of this connection. And it's caused them to have to look at it, and it's caused them to feel discomfort. And at the same time, they're looking at you and they see you as somebody who, even though you've seen those parts of themselves, you're still kind to them and caring toward them and gentle toward them. And they realize that perhaps these insecurities that they're feeling are more so theirs than anything that you're actually thinking. How do they think you see them? And then we have left out with the wolves. So if there's been distance here, like if you've distanced yourself from them, this is indicating that they're acknowledging that this is something that you probably did intentionally. Or if you haven't distanced yourself from them, this is them feeling very strongly like it's going to happen pretty soon. Like you're seeing them as somebody who you're going to need to take space from pretty soon. Let's go ahead and get an affirmation or two. What affirmation is there? Oh, geez. I'm not going to take them all. I'm going to just take this middle one because it's calling out to me. What affirmation is there for you guys? When I move my body, I feel empowered, cleansed, and strong. Let's get one more. And, okay, we have two more. My power lies in my peaceful presence, and I seek out happy people who inspire me to be great. All right, pile 2. Well, this was just as confusing for me as the last time I did it, and so I am so sorry if this was confusing for you as well. But thank you for watching, and I hope if you've never seen any of my videos before, you go and check out some other ones because I'm not always this confused. But thank you so much, and I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hi pile 3. So today's pick a card reading is looking into how your person thinks that you see them. And I haven't done this reading in a very long time. The last time I did it, I was very confused. And the last few piles have proven to me that this is still just as confusing as it was the last time I did it. So I apologize if this is confusing. I'm going to do my very best. But we're looking into how they think that you see them. And I've already pulled some oracle cards here, and some of them are new. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have some new oracle cards. I also have a new deck. Some people have been tipping me, and I decided to use that money to buy more decks. So if you have been in that group of people who've been sending me tips, thank you so much. I am definitely going to continue purchasing decks for the channel, so thank you. Okay, so for this question, the first portion of it, we have number 47, go the distance, number 36, come to the edge, the destroyer, deer, and the knight. All right, so your person seems to be pretty receptive in the sense of they're not looking at themselves through rose-colored glasses. They are looking at themselves pretty, I would say, harshly right now, and it might not be harshly. It could be very truthful. However, if this isn't how you're feeling, I would say it is harsh. But what I'm sensing is this: your person thinks that you see them as somebody who is very avoidantly attached and who kind of runs you around in circles and drags you through all kinds of different messes, and then becomes hot and then cold and then comes back and becomes the sweetest person ever, and then perhaps panics and has a feeling of very real fear, and suddenly they feel as though they're going to get hurt, so they have to end things. This person thinks that you see them as a hot mess. That's what I would say, a hot mess. And yet at the same time, they still see that you see value in them. It's like they know how ridiculous they are, and they think that you think that they're ridiculous as well. But at the same time, there's an element of like sweetness here. Like there's an element here of them knowing or thinking that you see them as somebody who is capable of so much love and yet has great fears that sometimes limit them. But this person keeps coming back, keeps trying. And of course, if this is something that's happening and it's unhealthy for you, obviously that's the truth. It's unhealthy for you. But I'm just looking into the energies of how they think you see them. And that's kind of what I'm seeing so far. But let's look into tarot as well and see what else comes through. Let's make sure everything is good. Yeah. Let me just shuffle it one more time. Okay. How does pile 3's person think that pile 3 sees them? Okay, so we have the Knight of Cups again. So we have Knight, and now we have the Knight of Cups. They think that you see them as somewhat of like a hopeless romantic, perhaps. A hopeless romantic, or somebody who really desires romance, really desires love and connection, but is so unbelievably afraid of it that the second it comes even close to the reality of their situation, they run for cover. How do they think you see them? Yeah. So we have Death, the Two of Swords, and the Hermit. And look at this image of the turtle running for cover. What I'm getting with Death, the Two of Swords, and the Hermit is that this person thinks that you see them as somebody who is very, very fearful of pain, very fearful of endings, transitions, and yet at the same time is a walking disaster, is like I shouldn't say it like that because I know that I'm teasing, but like it's probably hurtful for some people, so I apologize. A walking destroyer would be a better word. Somebody who walks around and destroys things first so that they don't get destroyed. But doing this leaves them at an impasse. Doing this leaves them alone. It causes them to feel great loneliness. And that's what they feel, as though you have them figured out. We have the Moon. The Moon represents fears. Okay, and now we have the Page of Cups. Yeah. Okay. So the Moon represents fears, illusions, darkness, things that make us feel unsettled. And it's clarifying the Knight of Cups. So this is telling me that they think that you see them as somebody who is very fearful of intimacy, even though they desire it greatly. They're also thinking that you see them as somebody who is very emotionally immature, somebody who doesn't ever get past that Page of Cups stage before they end it. They feel as though you see them as somebody who never allows the feelings, the emotions, the intimacy to reach greater depths. And we have the Emperor. They also think that you see them as somebody who needs control, or who has their own tactics in order to make themselves feel safe. And the World. You see them as somebody who just repeats the same cycles over and over and over again and continues to be alone. And on the back of the deck, this is the Nine of Wands. I messed up in my last reading. Well, you know what? It must have been the message for them. So that's okay. That's the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands as the bottom of the deck energy tells me that they think that you see them as somebody who, despite all of this, still gets up and tries. Like perhaps they're in therapy and they're acknowledging their shortcomings, and they recognize that their fears are much bigger than perhaps is like serving them in the right way in order to protect them, if that makes sense. But they're trying. Perhaps they're reading books on vulnerability or on attachment styles. It seems like you see them as somebody who has probably gone through some things, and yet at the same time still tries to be a good person. And of course, this is just how they think you see them. So you could very well be like, F this person. Like, this person is playing with my emotions. They're not a good person. And that's fair. I'm just showing you what it is that they think you see in them. Let's keep going. Something that's never truly yours. Yes. Cornucopia. And everything you need to soon. Yeah, everything here. It's classic avoidant attachment. They think you see them as somebody who can't be caught, somebody who's elusive, somebody who avoids commitments, but still at the same time is around, still wants that connection, is just fearful of it. They think you see them as somebody who has a lot to offer. And perhaps you see them as somebody that you feel as though you could heal. And with everything that you need to soon, it feels like you see them as somebody who is deserving or worthy of love, is deserving and worthy of what it is that they want, but for whatever reason, they're just not ready to just accept it. They're not ready to accept love and accept the ramifications of that. Let's go ahead and get you, that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Let's go ahead and get you, okay. I am committed to bringing forth my greatness. I will no longer play small. And we have, attacking others is an attack on myself. I choose to release this now. That's beautiful. And I'm sorry that I apologize again, pile 3, for saying that this person is a walking disaster. Shouldn't have said it. It was a low moment for me, making a low joke. But anyway, that's what I'm seeing for you guys, pile 3. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hello, pile 4. So today's pick a card reading is looking into how it is that they think you see them. And I haven't done this reading in a very long time because the last time I did it, it confused the ever-living daylights out of me. And if I've learned anything, it's that this reading still confuses me. It didn't get easier. I thought maybe it would have. So I'm gonna do my best, and hopefully this resonates for some people. So for your cards so far, we have Fork in the Road, Goose, Midas/Miser, and the Vessel. Your person thinks that you see them as somebody who perhaps has really held this connection together, or is somebody who just typically holds things together for other people, is like the foundation for a lot of different things. It seems to me like there might be some sort of change coming up in the near future that depends on what their decision is, and it could have an effect on you. It doesn't necessarily have to be the case that it has an effect on you, but there's something here definitely with the Fork in the Road, and then Goose, which represents obviously being together in a flock, but also migrating, and then the Midas/Miser, which is all about entrepreneurship, and transforming life's riches. It seems like there is probably, you're viewing them as somebody who has some pretty big decisions to make here in the near future, which could perhaps change the way in which this person is holding things together, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. It's a pretty random message. Like the other ones weren't this random, but let's get into it. What do they think? How do they think you see them? Okay, we have the Fool. Yep. And look, it's a little goose. Maybe it's a duck. I don't know. We have the World. We have the Queen of Wands. The Page of Wands reversed. The Three of Swords. The Three of Wands. The Sun. And the Page of Cups. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Eight of Swords. Okay, so it seems like this person thinks that you are under the impression, and I think that this is more so them just expressing their own feelings, perhaps, but it seems like you're viewing them as somebody who has some pretty big changes and decisions to make, and they're not doing anything. They're choosing to be inactive rather than make the decisions and rip the Band-Aid off. The Fool is all about taking a leap of faith, but it's being clarified by the Three of Swords, which is all about devastation and heartbreak and pain. And it seems like this person, in your eyes, according to them, does not want to feel this pain. Like, I think maybe they think you have already decided what choice they're going to make, and it's the choice that's going to be the most painful. Either way, they think that you see them as being hesitant towards making any decision. I think that for some of you guys, this decision might have to do with moving, or travel with the World, and then the Three of Wands. There's this element here of travel, and also of cycles coming to a close and new things on the horizon. It seems like you're viewing them as somebody who's probably worked really, really hard, and keep in mind, I keep saying you're viewing, but please just remember that what I mean is they think you're viewing them as somebody who has worked really, really hard for everything that they have, and is about to reap the rewards. The Queen of Wands and the Sun, this is a manifestation come to life. This is all of the effort and time that they have put in coming to life and warming them, but it's not without loss of some other kind. The Page of Wands reversed, and then the Page of Cups tells me that you're also seeing them as somebody who has like a lot on their horizon, a lot of really positive things coming their way, and yet for whatever reason they are kind of stumped by this or unable to move forward. Like they're hesitating toward doing what they need to do, is essentially what I'm seeing. It's a very specific message, but that's what's coming through. Let's go ahead, let's keep going. I think this is going to be kind of a shorter reading. We have Broken and Hatched. I think it's interesting that we have the goose, and then we have little baby geese, and like you see it in different stages. Maybe it's a swan, I don't know. To me, when I first saw it, it looked like a goose. I just got this deck. I need to explore it more. But either way, now we have this egg that's being broken and hatched, and an egg is essentially a vessel. So they think that you're seeing them as somebody who's about to crack that vessel and no longer be the foundation that's holding things together. We also have cornucopia. They think that you see them as somebody who has either a lot to offer or a lot on their horizon, like a really, really bright future. And we have Make It Look Like the Night. They also think that you see them as somebody who's very fearful. Very, very afraid. Okay, let's get you an affirmation. What affirmation is there for pile 4? The more I honor my inner light, the more I brighten the world. I choose to shine. And look, it's another freaking goose. I can forgive people quickly, release my resentment, and set myself free. All right, pile 4. Well, that's what I'm seeing for you today. If this resonated with you, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. I'm really curious about what's going on, so please feel free to share. Thank you so much, pile 4, for watching, and I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye!